All right. Well, hi, I'm Jim Peacock from Peak Careers Consulting, and Peak Careers. I provide a number of different online seminars, workshops, and the Career Development Facilitator course. And I've been doing that for a number of years. Um, this short interview is really a result of this Finding Purpose 5-week online discussion-based seminar that I just finished, and it really stimulated a lot of thinking on my part on this topic, and I ended up writing 2 blogs on it, and then wanted to follow up with an interview talking about this with a couple of people. So I've invited Pam. Pam, please, was one of the people taking this seminar. And she has worked in a variety of settings, helping young people navigate the career process. I've known Pam for a number of years. She originally met her when she took my CDF class. Sabrina Woods is a very good friend of mine. She's a holistic coach, and we actually read a couple of her articles that she wrote in this Finding Purpose seminar that was very helpful as we explored this topic of passion and purpose and how do we help our clients. So I want to just take a few minutes here and talk about what are a few important things to consider when helping your client as they try to find their purpose for their next career move. And Sabrina, you want to start?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you. And thanks so much, Jim, for thinking of me and inviting me to chat today. I have to say this is one of my favorite topics, as it is, I think, for a lot of career counselors, is helping those individuals who are feeling lost or stuck or just not happy in whatever their current work is. And they want out, and they want to wake up in the morning excited to go to work. And so it's a joy to help people find that joy, really. So when I think about this topic, our clients would love it. Our individuals that we work with would love it if we could just hand them over a test, they could fill it out, and the answer would pop up. But that doesn't exist. There's several that help in the process, and some career counselors use the acronym called VIPS, which stands for values, interests, personality, and skills. So I think when we think about our toolkits and factors that we want to consider when we're helping our clients, is if we can dig in and help them explore each of those factors, each of those elements of the self, that's a really great kicking off point. And I want to just say something else about this process, and that is if we can encourage the people that we work with to allow for the unknown for a period of time. And what I mean by that is, in our culture, we're supposed to have an answer, and it's supposed to be instant. And if we can encourage these individuals to live the question, live the unknown, and try and befriend that anxiety. Because if we can kind of just have a little bit more openness and allow that process to unfold, I think we're going to get to better quality answers than if we try and rush it or we're anxious. So I just wanted to kind of say that if we can live the question, live the unknown during that process of discovery, I think it's going to be a really helpful reminder. So let me turn it over to Pam to add in for that thought, her thoughts.
Okay, hi. Thank you also, Jim, for including me in this. I love the course that you taught. I'm going to encourage anybody who's interested in finding purpose at work to definitely take that course. And I took it for myself for a couple of reasons. One, to rethink my own purpose at this point. I'm in the process of changing my work. And also because I work with people on career development. So I wanted to help myself professionally to get updated on that. Yeah, I love using career assessments, good career assessments with individuals to help them explore who they are and really dig deep in that. And I loved what you said too, Sabrina, about allowing the uncertainty sometimes. I've just been reading a book called The Time Between Dreams by Carol, not sure how to pronounce her last name, Vecchio. I think she's one of the people we read during the course as well, and she's lovely. And she talks about the cycles of life. And I would want to work with people to figure out, where are they in that cycle, right? Are they in spring, summer, winter, or fall? And what is it that they really need to do to, it is going to depend on where they are in that cycle. What kind of work we want to do with each other is going to really depend on where they are in their life. And so do they need the time now to step back and find a new vision, or do they have a vision already, kind of a sense of where they want to go, and maybe they're ready to begin to take the steps that they need to take to make things happen? So it's really important for us to figure out, well, where are you in that cycle?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, my last blog was really about I really was thinking about being authentic, and it really plays to what Sabrina was saying with you know, it's about helping people identify those skills, those values, and those interests, and really kind of really think about those things and put those together, and then be true to yourself, you know. And I think so much of this is not trying to be something for someone else, not trying to fit into a job that's not a good fit. It's really about being true to yourself, being authentic, and really embracing that process, to say this is a process that you are in, and it's okay to think about stuff. I've been actually journaling a lot lately, and it's what's wonderful about journaling is it's taking these thoughts and it forces me to put stuff onto paper, and it really helps me flesh out some of my thinking. And then I go back and I'll read some stuff from the last couple weeks, and then I can start to see themes, and I can start to see what's important. But it's really all about being important, you know, what's important to you. But then I just think being authentic.
I agree. I read a quote in another book that's really wonderful, which is Life Reimagined. There are actually two books by the same title, but different authors. There's Richard Leider's one, and Barbara Haggerty also wrote a book called Life Reimagined. And in her book, I think it was actually in Richard Leider's book, he talks about an interview that he had where with someone, and I'm not going to remember who it was, but she was talking about alignment. And the importance of alignment in the work that you're doing. And I love that word. To me, that just made so much sense, because if you're out of alignment, whether, you know, it's not fitting your interests or your values or who you are as a human being, then you're not going to enjoy your work. And so I think it's so important to find that alignment for yourself.
Right.
I want to pick back up on when Jim was talking about journals. Something that comes to mind for me is that I'll often ask individuals to do an interest journal. I even will say it sometimes before they even come and meet with me. Start by just writing down those things that you care about, and think about that alignment. Also, where am I not in good alignment? So what is it that is important to me right now, and what do I care about? If people can do some journal writing and start to flush that out, because we don't really think that deeply on every given day, where our days are so busy. But if we can stop with a little reflection and a little introspection and start to pull that data out. Okay, what is it that I care about? What am I interested in? What topics did I get drawn to during a recent networking event, or when I was reading the newspaper, or when I was having a conversation with a coworker? What do I care about and I'm interested in? If you can just log that for a few weeks, you start to see themes.
That's right.
And as career counselors, our job is to be synthesizers. So our job is to kind of hold that space for that individual as they bring forth what it is they care about. And we get to kind of pull it together and make some sense out of it. That's our ideal situation, is we can pull some themes from them, from that information.
Yeah. In the interest of trying to keep this first interview we on this topic somewhat short, any final thoughts, or do you have any resources that you'd like to share on this topic?
Well, you had asked us about that, and I love watching TED Talks. As you know, I've shared a number of different TED Talks and videos with you throughout our talks together and different classes that I've taken with you. And so I went back and I looked through my list of TED Talks, and one that I came up with was by Ken Robinson, called Bring on the Revolution. Because I've worked in education, he's somebody who talks about the importance of changing the face of education, that the way it's done often really is not that effective. And in that talk, he says few people are doing work that they're actually passionate about. I think it's maybe 20% or 17%. And he tells the story in that talk about a man who became a firefighter. even after a teacher told him that that work was below his abilities, he wanted to do it. And he decided that that was what he was going to do. And the teacher said he wouldn't do anything of value with his life if he became a firefighter. And in an odd quirk of fate, he ended up saving that teacher's life and his wife's life after they were in an accident.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Ken Robinson's talk, Bring on the Revolution. I
Awesome.
recommend it.
Thanks.
Oh, fantastic.
Final thoughts?
How do I follow that one?
I know.
Save someone's life. That's a great story.
Isn't that great?
I think what I'll say is kind of picking up on what a little piece of Pam's message is, you know, sometimes we have to forget about what society says and follow our true calling. And so I'll also say we all come with a batch of what I call limited beliefs, and they can keep us stuck. Oh, I can only do this, or I should only do that, or if we can push those, recognize those, honor them, and then see if we can work past them. And one way of maybe approaching this is to ask questions like, if I wasn't afraid, what would I do? If I knew I wouldn't fail, what might I do? If I had no financial constraints, what might I go after? How might I spend my life, my time? So if we can kind of use these kind of big, broad questions to help us go and access that true, what we really care about, then you might find a way to make that a reality. But unless we uncover it, unless we dig deep enough and go past those limiting beliefs, we might not get to it. So it's like sort of like promoting ourselves to let yourself really dream and push past those blocks. So that's how I'll close.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
My final thought would, what I was thinking is the resources. Richard Leider's work is really very powerful. The Life Reimagined, and I think the other book is Unpacking Your Bags. I mean, he's got some great resources in there, and that's actually we spent a week reading about Richard Leider because he is a real thought leader on this topic. So, well, listen, thank you to Pam and Sabrina, and thank you for all of you folks that might listen to this and share it with others. So thank you, and stay in touch.